feel lost in so many ways.
After a very, very long drive from Ipupa Falls in Namibia, I finally arrived at my parents' house near Livingstone, Zambia, just in time for the festive season and the end to 2024. This allowed for some much needed quality family time with my parents and their pack of 7 dogs, especially because I didn't have much editing work to do due to an early Christmas present in the form of a corrupted SD card. A week or so after I arrived, we added another member to the small army of dogs by rescuing a puppy from the village next door. He looked to be in terrible shape. He was malnourished, had some sort of skin condition, and was literally full of ticks. It was honestly disturbing to see, let alone the feeling of the ticks and scabs all over his body. We weren't sure what to expect, but he seemed to have a really good spirit, regardless of the hellish circumstances he had lived in up to that point. That little waggy tail of his gave us a lot of hope for his recovery. Sure enough, just a day later, he was already looking much more full of life. Luckily enough for me, because I was soon to be put in the hot seat. Both my parents had to leave the country for a few days, which meant that I would have to look after all 8 dogs, including the new little boy, whose health we were still a bit wary about. It may not sound like much, but it was definitely a big change of pace for me, especially because the only pet I had to look after for the previous 2 years was our little chicken. No, not that type of chicken. Our little cat named Chicken. A very chilled, low maintenance and independent little creature compared to these hounds I found myself looking after. The pack included a mix of veterans and newbies. Leo, the legend himself, is the oldest and wisest with his exquisite beard. Omar Coco, the poodle, is the second oldest and really does give grandma vibes. The third oldest is the most dangerous, vicious creature you will ever lay your eyes on. Portos, the giant slayer, whose only need in life is to sit on your lap. The last of the elders is Tommy the Vorsi, who loves to lick everything and bark at the lawnmower. Bringing in the first of the younglings is Little Daisy, a mixed breed sweetie who we were dog sitting for some family friends who were also out of country. Next is the biggest boy, Chatu, a beautiful greyhound, the fastest breed of dogs in the world, and his bestest friend, Mapule, who is also a recent rescue from earlier in the year. Then last but not least, the newest member of the family, our little Ninja, named after one of the most famous South African musicians of all time, Ninja from the Antwoord, because of how skinny and scruffy he looked. The day started nice and early with a morning walk with the Winkies. The best spot was a few kilometers away, so I needed to load them up onto the legendary old Land Cruiser Bakkie for the trip there. We wouldn't walk too far, probably a maximum of 3 kilometers or so, but it was just enough to burn enough energy for them to not be too crazy during the days. The more they slept during the day, the easier my job was, and the less they would bark at each other, the gardeners, or just random noises, which all happened way more often than I would have liked. The next major task I needed to fulfill for these doggies every day was to feed them, which again is no small undertaking. Getting the food ready and giving it to them was one half of the mission. The other half was watching them eat and making sure that they don't eat too much of the other's food. especially the younglings. Fortunately, the new nutrition was busy working miracles on little Ninja, because after a few days his ribs and spine stopped showing, and I could see that his body was slowly healing and getting stronger. After being alone for a day or two, I got some visitors. 2 guys from Germany who I had met at Iphupa Falls in Namibia. They were on a backpacking trip through Africa and planned to go past Livingstone anyway, so I invited them to come stay with me for a few days. We had a lot of fun, and I was very honored to have apparently blown their minds by buying the best steaks they had ever had. I must say, even as a steak connoisseur myself, I can attest to how delicious that batch of Zambian meat was. You just cannot comprehend the flavor that natural beef can have. On their last day, the sun broke out from behind the clouds for the first time in a few days. So we made the most of it with a nice afternoon in the garden, chilling, cloud watching and playing some frisbee.
Try taking the step out of your head. I know it's hard, but you've come so far, and you still give a fuck. Man, you got so much love in you, loving you is all that you can do to see it through. 'Cause there's no shame to feel lost in so many ways.
A few days later, my parents would return. I would finish episode 4 and then be back on the road, this time to return to Johannesburg, where I would officially complete my first mission and this first series of videos. Thank you so much for watching up to now, and I really appreciate the support I've gotten so far. It means so much to me. The next mission will be starting soon, and we'll have lots more to see, this time mostly of South Africa itself and the hidden gems to be found. If you are keen to stay up to date with future content, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to always notify you when I post. Alternatively, you can follow me on Instagram at mzungu.missions, where I'll keep you updated as well. Thanks again, and I hope you'll have a wonderful 2025. I'll see you in the next one.